For the subordinate, it's almost impossible to stay around if you break up, because it's great very awkward. I don't know if you can chime in on that. Well, in general, as a
Yeah,
lawyer or
yeah,
as a business
yeah,
owner.
yeah. It's what you said. Like when people hook up in an organization, whether it's a subordinate manager relationship, sometimes you have like two people on the same level, different departments doing it. So sometimes, sometimes, so I don't know if a subordinate is, for example, someone with a lower rank in an organization but working in a different sector, a different department. I think it is. So, but I think it might be beneficial, like everything, but it has its risks. Beneficial in the sense that, let's say you are the manager and your subordinate is, you have relationship with your subordinate. She might be inclined to, for example, work hours, do things, uh, go the extra mile without asking pay or whatever, or that you will focus mainly on your task. I'm trying to hold it in, man. I'm just trying to hold it. But the but when it goes south, it's oftentimes the subordinate is more, yeah, I'm gonna use the word, is people see it in an organization as disposable. Now, if they wanted to get rid of the superior, this would be a perfect time to get rid of the superior. The challenge of the challenge of HR is, who are you gonna, if you're gonna get rid of someone, who are you gonna get rid of? If it's a big company, you can always um, you can always move someone to a different place. Now, who's gonna move where? That's another question. But both people can remain employed, but work in different departments, not having to deal with each other. However, if it's a smaller company, oftentimes it's the subordinate that either leaves voluntarily because the situation has become so toxic that she doesn't want to work there anymore, or because she gets pushed away. And if the relationship, it's easy if the relationship was, or let's not say relationship, but if let's call it a misconduct, if there was a misconduct of sorts, uh, without the consent of one party, for example, you held someone's hand too long, you held someone's hand, things like that, or you touch someone inappropriately, then for sure it's easier to decide who needs to go. At the same time, it's more difficult to prove that something happened if there weren't cameras, or if there weren't cameras, or what do you say, or witnesses around. But oftentimes it's very difficult to prove it. So you find that the woman will leave, or the subordinate will leave. I've experienced situation as well where the man was the subordinate and he didn't leave. He was just bragging. So I think I think it's different for it's I think I think it's different for different people as well. But if you have emotional connection, then it's probably the female, or if it's probably the female subordinate that will leave faster than the male subordinate or any superior. The superiors will not leave as easily if the relationship was consensual.
So that's the dynamics between supervisor, superior versus subordinates. What about subordinates? Is it, I would say, personally, or not personally, I'm not going to put my personal in this, as a, in general, would you say that it's safer to be subordinate and subordinate, or on the same level in a sense? And of course, not taking into account you, one of the two doing weird stuff after the one breaks up, because that's always leads to
Yeah.
awkwardness in the, would be level to level be the best way to go. Then there is no conflict of interest or whatever lose-lose situation.
I mean, it depends, I guess, for everyone. Uh, Me personally, I don't want the idea that I don't like the idea personally of working in a place where my significant other is an employee and all the employees know each other. So our information is continuously passed. If something's wrong, she tells a colleague, then the whole organization knows. Or something happens with me, the whole organization knows. Or, but some people don't care. So that's why I say it depends. But if you're gonna do it, I think personally, okay, it depends on what you're looking for, I would say. Because if you are a subordinate and you genuinely like a superior and your superior genuinely likes you, would it be a bad idea to not do it? I don't know. There are a lot of cases where it happens. There are a lot of examples, right? The question is whether or not you should make it clear, to publicize it, or not publicize it, but make it known, to disclose it to HR, so people know what's going on.
But you could disclose it to HR and not disclose it to your coworkers, but I mean, the chemistry will be obvious
The
a lot of
chemistry will
times.
be obvious, but subordinate to subordinate might be better, but it's not as clear to say. If you're, for example, working on
Yes.
the same, if you're working on the same department, in the same department, you're subordinates to one another. But I would argue that if something goes wrong, you're gonna sit there with that person the whole day, and with other people asking you both what's going on. So it doesn't seem. And again, what are you looking for? If it's an affair, I mean, you're both trying to satisfy a need, then yeah, technically speaking, why wouldn't you do it, right? But fact of the matter is, emotions
That was the
almost always
easy
plays a
one.
role. Almost always plays a role. Almost always plays a role.
Why wouldn't
And
you do it? There is an easy one, but I'm not gonna answer that.
almost always. And with emotions playing a role, doesn't matter, I believe, what relationship it is. When emotions play a role, things get complicated. So I would say don't do it at work.
Don't do it. Don't
That's
do
what I
it.
would say. Don't do it at work.
He, that person ain't worth it.
It's not worth it.